So buying my first house, I bought my first house in 1998. And at the time I was working at a tire store making $12 an hour. And my wife and I only had one car and we were renting a very small house in Whitefish. And so one day I was hitchhiking because my wife had the car up Big Mountain Road. And this guy picks me up and he wanted to know my story. And as I get to talking to him, he notices that I'm a married guy with a job. And he says, "Have you thought about buying a house?" And I said, "I've thought about it, but I don't think you can get me a loan." He goes, "Would you be willing to try?" And I said, "Sure." Well, I skied powder all day, took his business card, roll forward. I was approved to buy an $80,000 house. I came home, showed my wife that we were approved for $80,000. Not really thinking we were going to get a house, but she was armed and dangerous. And so within 2 days, we had looked at two homes, the only two homes available in Whitefish under $80,000. And one of them was $77,000. And we bought it with a zero down rural development loan that I didn't even know anything about until going through the application process. But bottom line is, with my wife and I's job, we bought a house and all we had to do was go from paying rent to paying a mortgage. And that was in 1998. Roll forward a couple of years, obviously things change. We refinanced the house once and we rolled some debt in that we had taken on, but our house had gone up in value. A couple of years later, everybody that I work with is building a new house. My wife and I decide to build an addition. So I went to my mortgage broker friend, and this was either the third or fourth mortgage, but we took out a construction to permanent renovation loan, and we greatly increased the size of our home because we decided that a lot in the town that we live in, Whitefish, was worth a lot. And the best thing to do would be to make our permanent house right there. So we made our dream house. We went through the construction process, which if you ever want to talk construction, been through that process. I actually generaled the project myself. We paid off that loan. A couple of years later, we actually built a spec house because everybody was doing it. That actually ended up being a terrible financial decision, but I was able to procure another mortgage and build it. I used my house to bail me out because it had equity. Roll forward a couple more years, and my wife and I actually now own two homes. We have one in Bigfork. We have the one in Whitefish. I believe since I started, I've had 10 mortgages in total, but currently both houses are paid off, which is what I would want for you, is to have your mortgage paid off. So that journey involved 10 mortgages. It currently involves two homes. And I believe everybody, if they'll just start, can get the opportunity to build wealth through real estate. And so my journey started when I was 23. My wife and I are just turning into the 50s right now and have two homes debt free. We may buy more property, we're not sure. But the mortgage process has been extremely helpful in leveraging us up to get ahead in life.